Aaron Judge has been dealing with an arm injury for the last little while now, and up until a few games ago it had kept him out of the field entirely, with him only appearing as a DH or designated hitter. But he just got cleared to get back out there in a series against the Blue Jays, and while his effort was certainly admirable, the results weren't pretty, at least when it came to having to watch him throw. Our first instance of this came in Game 1, when, with 2 outs and the bases loaded, Nathan Lucas slapped a line drive on one hop to shallow right field, that forced Judge to come in and then flip a light toss to Jazz Chisholm on the edge of the infield grass, allowing 2 runs to easily score on a play that you'll never really see in any other circumstance. Think about it, when do you see the position that typically has one of the strongest arms in the diamond hit the cutoff man on a potential play at the plate like that? He would get another chance in the 9th inning on a double to the wall off the bat of Dalton Varsho, this time having to get this one in a decent amount further. Still, he managed to do so efficiently enough to keep the guy on first, Bo Bichette at third base. With this being said, you can see the obvious discomfort in his arm action there, and with the faster base runner, especially with 2 outs, that probably would have been another run. The Yankees would go on to lose this one by a final score of 7-1, extending Toronto's lead in the division at the time. But, thankfully for them, they would manage to even up the series the following game, aided in part by this tremendous throw from Cody Bellinger, who started in right on this day, to cut down what would have been the tying run in the 6th inning. The third game of the series would be a huge one for either side, and the Bronx Bombers would get off to a fast start, with Ben Rice crushing a 3-run home run in the bottom of the first. But Max Fried would run into some trouble the very next frame, which came in part because of the weak arm of Judge. First on this fly ball down the right field line from Ernie Clement, who almost certainly would not have attempted to go to second in normal circumstance, handily beating an off-target throw. Sure, this one was in the air, but it still was a bit of a rainbow, especially by his standards. Is it impressive he can make tosses like that with what seems to be a serious elbow injury? For sure, but you can't argue it's not doing much to deter base runners. Later on in the same frame, Lucas would be up again in a run-scoring situation, this time flying a ball to medium right field, with one of the slowest runners in baseball, Alejandro Kirk, on third. This would normally be a situation where the stout backstop would not dare test Aaron's cannon, but he essentially got the trot home when Judge just had to get it into Chisholm in a very similar way as in the first game. You can see on his face after the play as well that even that light of a throw caused him some pain. Our final instance of the large outfielder's uncomfortability would be in the top of the third, when George Springer's one hopper off the wall forced him to make his longest throw since he's been back, with this one being arguably his worst as well, a 2-hopper that trickled in slowly enough that Springer ended up being able to fall completely off the bag, yet still get back in time to be safe after a vehement call from the umpire. Again though, New York would emerge victorious in this one by a final score of 4-3, with Judge himself adding a diving catch later on. Before we go, I want to say I admire Aaron for being willing to come back while obviously still injured, and I get that having Giancarlo Stanton play the outfield on a day-to-day basis isn't much better than this, but man, is it uncomfortable to watch a guy who is so obviously in a great deal of pain attempt to make throws that he would never be asked to make in a normal circumstance. And I just hope it doesn't end up coming back to bite the superstar in any way long term. Alright everybody, if you made it this far, I appreciate you watching, and if you did, consider checking out any of these other videos on your screen right now for other content just like this. Also, if you ever see anything you'd like to see me detail in the video, feel free to reach out to my email, basebpoet@gmail.com, and if I end up using your idea, I'll give you a shout out. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.